Hi, this is Jerry the Snake Man, and today we're doing episode 9 of Snake Clips. We're going to be doing vipers. We're going to have some rattlesnakes and a gaboon viper. Stay tuned. Today we're starting off with the gaboon viper. Gaboon vipers are one of my favorite snakes. They're very beautiful snakes. They have cryptic patterns and colors, as you can see. They have geometric designs on them, which I really love. They are the largest of all the old world vipers, and they come from West Africa. They get up to 7 feet, and they can weigh up to 18 pounds. They are an ambush predator, which means they rely on these cryptic patterns and colors to blend them in with such things as leaf litters, and when the prey would move in front of them, they would strike out and grab it. They have the longest fangs in the world. Their fangs can be up to 2 inches. They live in dense forests and humid grasslands, and normally they're very docile. But this particular one here isn't so docile. He does like to strike. So that's why you won't see me picking him handling, because although I do wear the protective gloves, I don't rely on the fact that they would withstand a bite from one of these guys here. They are what's considered true vipers, which means they don't have any heat-sensing pits on their face. They use their eyes and their tongue to determine what's in front of them, what their prey is. Normally they're very docile, but this particular species here, he's a little huffy and puffy. The gaboon viper is a very broad-headed snake. As you can see, his head here is a lot larger than most of the viper snakes, very broad. He has horns on his nose right here, which stick up. When he's threatened, he will hiss, which is a behavior which is common to most snakes. But he hisses very loudly. You will see his body inflate up and down with air, and he will hiss with a sound that it sounds like somebody is stabbing a car tire. We get him to hiss here a little more. Alright, we don't want to get him too mad, because when he gets mad, boy, he really strikes and he'll jump all around here. He's a ground-dwelling snake. He really doesn't climb up in trees because of the size of his body. He has a very broad, heavy body, but he can swim very well. He'll eat birds and other prey that crawls on the ground. When he strikes, though, unlike a lot of the vipers, he doesn't release. He will strike and grab and hold on to his prey until it's dead, at which point he will stop eating. You can see now he's starting to get a little aggravated with me, moving him around here. And that's what we want to do. We want to try to show you his true colors here. He is a gorgeous, very gorgeous snake. And I love the patterns. They're a stout, short-bodied snake, basically. 7 feet is not very long for most snakes. They get very fat, and I just love the shape of that head. And when he opens that mouth and he shows you those 2-inch fangs, you definitely don't want to be anywhere near it. The next snake we have today is our canebrake rattlesnake. Some people like to call them canebrake or timber rattlesnakes. In New York State, this snake here is actually an endangered species because people will collect these snakes. A lot of people kill them on sight because they are rattlesnakes and very venomous. They're the second largest rattlesnake you'll find in the United States. Their length is anywhere from 3 to 6 feet. They're vipers. They have the heat-sensing pits. They have the retractable fangs, which means their fangs are longer than most non-viper snakes. Their fangs will actually retract and fold up into their mouth, so they can be larger than like a cobra's fangs, which are fixed in his mouth. These snakes use the same den their entire life. As you can see, he's not an aggressive snake. The dens that they use in their entire life are on cliff sides. They will den with other snakes throughout the winter. What's unique about these snakes, though, is that they do not go very far each year from their den. They'll only travel anywhere from 2 to 5 miles generally. They come back to the same den their entire life. The gravid females will stay close to the den as the males will move out, and the non-gravid females will move out and travel in search of mates and looking for food. Generally, again, you'll find these on deep rocky ledges. That's where they like to be, by hardwood forest clearings. The timber rattlesnake and the canebrake rattlesnake are heavy-bodied vipers. The timber rattlesnake is the northern subspecies, while the canebrake is the southern subspecies. Both species have black chevrons or crossbands. The timber rattlesnake has several variances on its background colors. In most northern states of the U.S., they can be black, but are normally gray with yellowish brown. The canebrake rattlesnake has a lighter background, which the background has a pinkish tint to it. The canebrake also has a rusty orange or brown stripe that runs the length of its belly. If you can see here, this guy here, he has a stripe right here that runs down his back. It's a brownish stripe, which would indicate to us that he is a canebrake and not a timber rattlesnake. Rattlesnakes are unique in the fact that they do have rattles on their tails, so when they get aggravated or want to warn off predators, they will shake their tail very violently, and this will cause a rattling noise, which when people hear it, they know that they're to back off, and it'll keep other animals away from them. This particular one here, I've had him since he was just a little bitty baby. So as you can see, he's not rattling his tail, he's not trying to bite me, he's just very curious, flicking his tongue out, trying to find out what's going on. Again, the vipers have the wider heads. As you can see, he has a more triangular shaped head. They have larger fangs because they do fold up into their mouth. Okay, and the last snake we have here today is a western diamondback rattlesnake, also known as a coon-tailed rattlesnake, because if you look very closely at his tail here, you'll notice he has the black and white stripes on it, and that looks like a raccoon, so that gives the nickname of the coon-tailed rattlesnake. The snake is called Crotalus atrox, which is the western diamondback rattlesnake. It's a venomous rattlesnake species. It's found in the United States and in Mexico. It is likely responsible for the majority of snake bite fatalities in northern Mexico and the second greatest number of snake bites in the United States. It is a pit viper. It does have the heat-sensitive pits, so it can detect you by your body temperature. Normally, these snakes are very aggressive. They have what's called a hemotoxic venom, and the hemotoxic venom is a venom that destroys your tissue and keeps your blood from clotting. They get anywhere from 3 to 6 feet. Normally they stay more toward the 3 to 4 feet size. Their colors are gray, and they have the white diamond markings on them. This particular little buddy here, we've had him since he was a baby. The one thing you can tell from a rattle is the how many times this snake has shed, but you cannot tell his age, because what happens is the rattle will break off as it gets longer. So what I can tell right now, though, is because on the end of his rattle he has what's called a button. When baby rattlesnakes are born, they don't have a fully developed rattle. They can't make any noise, but they do have a little tip called a button. And each time they shed from that point, they get a new segment on their rattle. So as long as he retains his button, I can count the segments that he has and tell how many times he shed. As a very young one, I know that he'll probably shed at least once to twice a month, so I could average his age by his rattle as he's young. Once that rattle breaks off and he no longer has the button, I won't be able to tell anything. This guy here, again, the reason why he is so docile is because we've had him as a baby. He's used to being picked up, he's used to being handled, and that's one of the other reasons why you won't see him rattling. His tongue flicks out a lot because he's using that to sense what's going on around him. Again, you would normally not hold a rattlesnake in this manner because they are extremely deadly.